I am a writer, which means for me that I spend a lot of time in my head and with a lot of ideas. And eventually I just have to put them onto paper. But I will say my biggest struggle with any project is actually starting it. I hate the rough draft process. I love coming up with the ideas. I love outlining. Hate the rough draft, but I love editing. So my struggle is I just have to force myself to create my rough drafts because I think in the back of my head, I know that it's bad when I'm writing the first draft. So I struggle because I want to keep going back and editing so many little details as I'm working. I'm like, no, I need to fix this now. But the problem is you can't, because then you get too bogged down in the details. First draft has to be messy. It has to be kind of bad because you have to end up doing like 4 more drafts. That's just how the process works. And I get too stuck on the details. So I am taking on my biggest challenge this year, and I am writing a novel. I'm recording this and my process to keep myself accountable and actually work on the rough draft, because that's the point where I'm at and I'm really struggling with it, as I said. But we're gonna do something fun tonight. All right, I have in front of me all of these materials. All right, we've got a corkboard. Ignore this. I'm watching Twin Peaks on the TV. So we'll be doing that too while I'm making this. I have my corkboard. I have my photos. So these are my characters. This is some of my like setting stuff and my inspirational photos that I ripped off Pinterest. Oh, this is, ignore that. That was a test page. But I have all of these to cut out, and then I have this kitchen string, this kitchen twine. We're gonna tie these pieces together. We're gonna have our little post-it notes, and I'm just gonna create a big outline. And this way I can hang up this corkboard in front of my desk, so I will have to stare at it while I sit at my desk and work on other things, and it will inspire me while I'm working on drafting. Because I really just have to sit down and schedule time and write. But this will be a fun project, I think, to get started. Am I recording? Yeah. So basically, I have a novel outlined that I'm working on. I cannot tell you what it's about. I cannot reveal the full plot until I have things actually moving, things actually happening, someone's actually publishing it. So more to come in the future, but you will see my inspiration pictures. It does take place in a small little eerie New England town in the winter. Our main character we follow is a teenage psychic. A very important part of the plot involves a frozen lake. And I just have a lot of really fun twists. It's a murder mystery. Yeah, it's a supernatural murder mystery. I'm so excited for it. I really feel like this is the first project I'm working on, the first long project that I'm actually working on, that I really feel like could turn into something. I have a lot of faith in it. I love the characters I've come up with. I love the story. Like, I want to read this book. So I have to be the one to make it so everyone else can read it too. But yeah, we're just gonna get started with cutting out these pictures and we'll start crafting.
Diane, 6:18 a.m., room 315. Great Northern Hotel.
Yes, we'll also check on the autopsy on Laura Palmer and see what that brings in. Oh, we're also going to want to talk to Mr. and Mrs. Palmer, but that's going to be their agreed. Now,
Harry, as you know, I delivered Laura. I've known her all her life. She was my daughter's best friend. I couldn't bring my...
I don't know. Something's not right.
Yeah, I saw advantage of that. Maybe old Nadine Cowan be Norma.
Hey, if Nadine got to be Norma, I'd be playing hard for the Heavenly All-Stars.
Ain't that the truth?
I was there seeing Norma, but I was also a mistake now. And I can remember my combined.
So here we have all of my characters, and these little strings represent their relationships and connections in different ways. This is kind of like the family side. Some school characters. This guy's kind of off on his own. Yes, it is Ryan Gosling. I do have to say that he is cast in my head as this character. I think he would kill it. I wish there was a picture of him playing a cop, but the closest I've got is The Nice Guys, and I love that movie, so. Over here on this side, we have the setting and the town. I really want to put an emphasis as I get into editing this project on the location and kind of creating the setting as a character. I really want it to be a believable place, and it's based a lot on my hometown. So I can draw a lot from what I'm very familiar with in reality. Then over on this side of the board, we have some of my like inspirational imagery of the kind of tone I want to convey and some of the unsettling nature that I want to come across. And then down here, this is kind of representing the climax of the story. Again, no spoilers, but this is like symbolism here. Title reveal, working title reveal, meet me at the lake. So far I'm really liking how this is coming together. Yeah. I also really like that I'm watching Twin Peaks right now because, I'm not gonna lie, this show is such a big inspiration for me when it comes to creative writing. I just love the tone of this show so much. It's just something about how it manages to walk the line between being so surrealist and unsettling. It balances horror and mystery. It brings in a bit of the supernatural element, but it brings also a lot of levity and humor. And there's a huge cast of characters, but they're all some of them are very kind of out of this world, and then some of them are very grounded and realistic and relatable. And I just love it, and I love the score, and I love the way everything is shot, the aesthetics of it. And I'm not gonna lie, Twin Peaks is like, in general, just very inspirational of a lot of things that I've worked on. Even on this one, I mean, we have like the beginning and the end has a lot to do with this lake. If you know how Twin Peaks starts with Laura Palmer in the lake, that's where I got this imagery from, I'm not gonna lie. I'm inspired by a lot of things. Well, I'm almost done, but I gotta go to bed. So we're gonna wrap this up shortly. I got a little bit more space to fill, and I'm not quite sure what I want to put there yet. But that's all a part of the process. Still got some things to figure out for sure. It is time for the command strips. I'm kind of scared for this part. I really hope it works out well. I think it'll be fine. Leveling. Ooh, I should compare it to the height. Ooh, that fell off. The height of the desk that I want it to be at. Also gotta keep that in mind. So the desk is this low, so I want it a little bit higher up like that. I feel like that looks good. I feel like that is as good as we're gonna get. Okay, I'm gonna hold it for 30 seconds. And it's up. And it's up on the wall. Just like that. Oh my gosh, okay. If it is a little crooked, do not tell me. Do not point it out. It looks really good to me. And that's about as good as it's gonna get. For my entire life, I have always been a writer. It's been my dream since I was a very little kid, and I wrote stories in my notebooks for fun. It just is, storytelling is my number one passion. Out of all the things that I find interesting, all the things that I love to do, I love to create stories most of all. So this is my biggest dream, is to finish and publish a novel. and I'm finally gonna work at it seriously and take myself seriously. I have a game plan, okay? I figured out that if I write 5 double-spaced, no, right? It's 10 double-spaced pages or 5 single-spaced pages a week. In 6 months, I will have 200 pages of a manuscript. I can do that. I can do 5 pages a week. And so I'm going to challenge myself to set a writing schedule somewhat and meet that goal every week. And then by November, I will have a novel. I will have my rough draft. And then I can actually do something with it. And that idea is so exciting to me. So now the only thing left to do is to actually do it. And I guess I will update you along the way as the journey continues. There's a lot of work ahead of me, and I'm very excited about it.